Hello and welcome to Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
Two Therapists and a Microphone is a podcast about mental health, relationships, and social issues that personally affect you. We broadcast live every Monday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. on the Our Black Media Network.
Harrison and I are two licensed therapists with decades of experience, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear about the issues and dilemmas that you're going through. So please send your questions to www.twotherapist.com by clicking on Ask Two Therapists at the top of the page. And today we actually have a couple of questions, and we have a great guest that I thought would be most appropriate for these questions because number one, it's February, which is Black History Month. So I'm only
Hallelujah.
bringing Black therapists on here. But also, both of these questions have to do with our relationships. And if you all have heard anything from me in the last few years, you know that I kind of keep my pimp game high. So I'm not the one you want to talk to about relationships, but
She
Avery
ain't kidding.
Rosser might be. Avery might be a better fit. I didn't want to put it all on Harrison to talk to y'all about relationships tonight.
Absolutely. So, as Dr. Aisha just mentioned, we got two questions, but we're going to first introduce our guest.
Yes, we have Avery Rosser. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Perfect.
All right. So he is the founder of We Climb Counseling and Consulting LLC. Avery earned a Master's of Science degree in Community Counseling as well as Postmasters of School Counseling from Columbus State University. He has completed advanced training and collaborative couples training, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is EMDR. Hey, small thing. I have EMDR training and I keep forgetting what the R stands for. So eye movement desensitization, reprocessing, suicide prevention, motivational interviewing, cognitive behavioral therapy, and post-traumatic stress disorder / moral injury. So basically
Right.
everything anyone would need to be successful in life via counseling. Avery has all of that training. He has over 8 years of counseling experience with a wide range of clients in a variety of treatment settings. He is also currently working on a doctoral degree. And we are so happy to have you here, Avery. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you both for extending the invitation. It's such an honor, and I'm truly blessed to be a part of this show tonight.
So, did I hear that you earned your master's degree at Columbus State University?
I did in 2013.
All right, so I got my master's there well before you. So I'm
Oh,
familiar with Jordan Hall at Columbus State University. Was Dr. Baltimore still there?
absolutely, he was.
All right, I think he's still there. So
Yeah.
Aisha, Dr. Aisha, you could take over.
All right, so Avery, I'm going to jump in and read our listeners' first question for tonight. This one is short, but I thought it was very interesting, and that it's kind of about relationships and kind of about friendships. So this person says, "I'm currently friends with a guy I used to date. I only want to be friends with him, and I've let him know this multiple times. We hang out with him, and he usually pays." My other friends are telling me that I'm sending mixed signals. I really like him as a friend and I don't want to hurt him. I just really want to continue our friendship because it seems like it's mutually beneficial for both of him. Am I really sending mixed signals? Is it possible for us to eventually have a platonic friendship, or should I go ahead and cut him off altogether so I don't hurt him?
Such a great question.
That is.
Yeah, that
That
is
was my
such a
first
great
time hearing it
question.
too.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I feel like I've probably been in relationships prior to getting married, of course,
Right.
where that could have been an issue. I really think that it's such a layered question in the sense that it sounds like she has expressed her intentions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the other part that we don't hear in this question is what was his response, right? To, hey, I want to keep things platonic. I don't want things to go, any farther than what it is, right? So if the individual on the receiving end of that message is okay with that, then it sounds like you guys may have a mutual understanding, right? It sounds easy, but of course, nothing in life is that easy, right?
Right.
Because what we know is this, is that when you like someone or you're spending an excess amount of time with someone, although your intentions are clear in the beginning, over the course of time, that can drastically change.
That part.
Absolutely.
That can drastically change. All right. I think it's important that she revisits that conversation to check his pulse on where he is within the relational dynamic. Is he okay with keeping it platonic at this particular point, or has feeling grown, or has feelings, you know, change in any type of way? Right. So I think the theme I'm hearing is we have to learn how to communicate, right? And her communicating with him where she is currently is going to be important, right? Because he may be somewhere, he may think that things have kind of changed because she's continuing to spend time with him.
And he's paying for dinner.
Right.
And he's
So
paying for
that
dinner.
was the part that caught me. If he's still paying, it's almost like that's the point where is it really a friendship? And for my friends, usually I pay for me or you pay for you, or
Yep.
we just split the check evenly, but no one's paying.
Absolutely.
for
What's the
dinner.
term? We go Dutch or something? I think that's the
Yep.
term.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right? Yeah, like I think it's important to understand like the male psyche in this particular case, right? If I am consistently fronting the bill, then maybe I'm thinking it's a little, you like me a little more,
Mhm.
or I like you a lot more, I like you enough to continue to front this expense. All right. So again, I think that a conversation needs to be had. I know she sounds like she's had this conversation early on in a relationship, but I think it might be time to revisit the conversation just to check the pulse of the relationship. It's a relationship, no matter how you
Right.
coin it, right? Whether it's a platonic relationship or intimate, whatever the case may be. I think it's important that she check the pulse of the relationship again.
Okay.
I agree with that. Everything you just said, and there's a need for more clarity,
Mhm.
is what it sounds like. And of course, she needs to check with homeboy. They are friends. That's what she said in the letter. They are friends. So I was even wondering what was holding her back
Mhm.
from talking with him about their friendship, since it was redefined, or even asking him on occasion, so who are you dating? Who you going out with? Let me hook you up with one of my homegirls, just to uh, reinforce that agreement that I believe that they had before. But I also want to add to that, she's feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She may need to check herself,
Absolutely.
and what's her purpose for going out on all these dates.
Bored.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna tell you what I know from my experience.
Tell me.
It's not gonna sound nice,
But tell
but
us the truth. Just tell us the truth.
I have had times where I've dated people and I say I want to be friends and they don't want to be friends, but they're like, it's fine, we'll be friends. And in the back of my mind, I know that they're going to continue our friendship with the hopes that eventually they'll win me over and we'll be friends. Now,
Hmm.
in my mind, if they keep paying for dates, I'm like, well, I did what I was supposed to do. I told them we were going to be
Your
friends.
hands
So
are clean.
it's not my problem anymore. I should be able to benefit from free meals from a friend.
Hey, what do you have to say about that?
I get it. I understand.
Guys do it all the time.
How do we do that? Wait.
I don't know about that.
How,
I don't know about that. What is the likelihood that a guy, you're going out with someone,
Uh-huh.
right? With whomever it is, and for the sake of this conversation, let's say a female, right?
Okay.
And she is continuously paying for the meal. That's highly unlikely. I think there's that double standard does sit with that, right? It's historically the male is going to be the one that's paying for the meals,
Right.
right? Name me someone that you know to where the woman is consistently paying for the date.
Like never. Well, so we won't call it a date. This is just
My
hanging
point.
out because I'm gonna say also on the flip side, I've had someone that I've dated and they said, let's just be friends and it's fine. We're friends. But
Mhm.
whenever we go out and do stuff, he also pays.
Mhm.
I'm not thinking that he wants more. I'm just thinking he's being a gentleman. And I
But
mean,
you're comfortable with that.
either I'm always comfortable with somebody paying. whatever. Doc- Harrison, if we go out to lunch and you want to pay, I'm comfortable with
That's
that.
not going to happen too often.
But what we also know is I'm not expecting that you want to be with me, and you're not expecting that I want to be with you. But
That's
I'm
the
expecting
clarity.
that you're just being the gentleman. See, there's no gray area there.
All right. I think to Dr. Davis's point, right, there's clarity there, right? You both understand where you are within the relationship. Going back to the original question, it doesn't seem as though she's clear on where she actually stands within a relationship,
Might not be. He
I
might be
agree.
able to win her over,
right?
which is why he keeps trying.
Right.
What
Or if,
signals? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, what signals? So she was wondering. She asked, "Am I sending mixed signals?" And
Mhm.
I too was wondering. Yeah, what are you doing? You
Mhm.
know, that's inviting him to ask you out so often, and you know, it's
Being
2023,
charismatic and fun. Just
and
being cute.
and you know, women.
They might not want to turn down that free meal.
Yeah, she's
And being
hungry.
hungry. Being cute, charismatic, and hungry.
But what does that all lead to? And I think she's wondering if she is misleading him. That's something I heard in the letter as well.
Yeah. I think the best way to find that out is to be direct and to ask, right? Instead of
I agree.
prolonging it, instead of being around the bush, instead of making assumptions, things of that nature, right? The best way to find out is to ask
I agree.
what's happening in this relationship. If she feels that she wants to keep things platonic, make that known. Hey, I just want to ensure that you understand that this is as far as our relationship goes.
Yeah. Those boundaries for
That
the
they're
relationship.
still on the same page.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that'll be good because I think she's trying to figure out what are the boundaries,
Mhm.
and she sounds like she doesn't want to hurt his feelings, and she doesn't want to do anything to contribute to that, you know. But yeah, she's going out
Yeah.
going out, you know.
I
the
mean, it sounds like
meals.
she wants to be his friend, and she might also feel like if she sets a stronger boundary, he won't want to be her friend anymore. And she
You
likes
don't want to pay
hanging
for the
out with
meal?
him.
I'm sure she could pay for her own meal. I'm
I'm
sure she
sure
could
she
pay for her
can.
own
I'm sure she
meal.
can too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but also the guy, you know, let's talk about the guy for a minute. You know, this is something some guys do. He's trying to impress her. He's
Mhm.
trying to wait around, impress her, and hope that she changed her mind or she sees him a little bit differently now that time has gone by. And so many times I've had those dudes on my couch, and it did
Right.
not work out. And my understanding today in 2023, it is expensive going out on a date where a drink could cost you $18 is what I was
I
told.
wouldn't know. I never look at the prices. I just go to eat and drink.
Hey,
But
must be nice.
it is. But
Must be.
it's great.
But what do y'all have to say to the guy?
I think even for
don't
him,
give up. It sounds like she's like
No,
you might be able to win over.
hey, keep trying, brother. No, in all seriousness, I think that he also needs to make his feelings known, right? Maybe he just someone that's he just enjoys the company, right? Maybe he just likes to spend on women. Who knows, right?
Or
But I
maybe
think
he's
it's
setting himself up for disappointment.
exactly right. I think, and that goes back into for him, he has to be open enough to make his intentions known. If there's anything I learned about being married, it is that direct line of communication. What is and what's not.
Mm.
Right? Being able to muster up that courage to say, hey, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Right? And so for him, if he is aspiring to date her at some point, I think he also has to make that known as well.
I agree.
Right? Hey, I just enjoy your company. You're good people. I just, it's just cool to hang out. I love your conversation. Or hey, I just want you to know, like, I genuinely I like you, because to Dr. Davis' point, could he set himself up for disappointment later? All right. I think relationships are all about taking risk, right? That's going to happen. But I'm all about calculated risk. Like, I can read whether or not a person's into me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. you should be able to read that. Like, okay,
That
all right.
vibe.
Is she?
Mhm.
Am I getting that vibe right?
Mhm.
And again, to her point, is she sending mixed messages with her vibe?
Well,
That
so to
could
me,
be,
if you have to ask, you might be
yeah,
doing that.
absolutely.
I think something may have happened that prompted her to send that email to us.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if maybe he suggested something that indicates he wants to progress the relationship or something. You know, so there are some signs I encourage her to look out. You know,
Yeah.
for if he wants to, I don't know, take her to a family gathering.
Maybe lunch out of the country, you know,
You
hey.
know, or go on a trip, a vacation together. You know, those
Maybe
things that
maybe she
couples
got a
do,
little drunk and they shared a kiss, and she was like, "Uh oh, now I
and she
really am
regrets
sending
it
mixed."
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
happens too.
But I also want to send her out a little warning. You know, everything that we all said, and we have different perspectives on it too. You know, but I encourage people today to be careful
Right.
when you're dating. You know, you're not. All of us know that times are different, and there are some crazy people out there who will respond with a lot of hostility and violence. There are stalkers out there, and you don't know a whole lot about him, how he might respond. But I don't encourage anybody to continue leading someone on unintentionally, you know, because there could be some consequences that they're not ready for. So that's a little warning that I want to send out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Atlanta, I'm not sure if they're in Atlanta, but if they are, it's dangerous out here.
They are in the Atlanta metro area in DeKalb
It's
County.
dangerous out here.
Okay.
All right, but protect yourself, sister, because you know you don't know, but you know I hope you heard us and think about those boundaries and what you're doing, and talk with the brother, you know, and if y'all are friends, you know, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we have a second letter that is equally as juicy.
I've read this one.
And so I'm gonna read it, try to get through it. Okay. This is from Sydney, a female. She's 37 from Georgia. And here's a letter. A while back, I dated a friend of a friend. Long story short, it didn't work out. It went really bad, and he kind of lost his mind for a minute. This mutual friend is a really good friend of mine, and I don't think she's as close to this guy as she thought she was. She really doesn't know much about him at all. Whenever I talk about him and the situation, she tries to straddle the fence and defend him, and it makes me want to slap the shit out of her. Her words. Wrong is wrong, period. I almost understand trying to be neutral, but I also feel like my friends would never be okay with what happened. I've told her how I feel about how things went, and she still feels unresolved. What should I do? Should I pull back on being her friend? Should I block both of them and just remove myself from the situation so she won't have to choose a side? I tried not talking to her about the situation, but sometimes she brings him up. I'm torn and irritated and really need to get through this one way or another. That is from Sydney. So
See,
Avery,
I'm gonna let you answer, Avery, because my answer would be block everybody,
well,
move
we
on.
all. That's why we're all
Listen,
here. All have.
I'm
You
I
probably
am
have 10
all
other friends.
listen, I am all for protecting your peace at all costs.
We just did a
Whatever
show
that
on
may
that.
look like.
We did.
All right. If that looks like distancing yourself from both to protect your peace, then that might be what you need to do. Right? I always think that when a friend hook you up with another friend, it can get very messy.
Yeah.
It can.
It can get very, very messy. Right? And it sounds as if this is the case here. Right? And it sounds as though she has expressed to this mutual friend, hey, this guy has done well. It almost seems like maybe she hasn't disclosed exactly what's happened.
Okay.
She did in
Right.
the letter.
From the last part I heard, it almost seems like she did not disclose exactly what has transpired, right? So maybe to give that friend some more context, right? It might be in her interest. She wants to preserve that relationship with that friend to say, hey, let me be honest. Like, let me give you the full story. This is what's happened. right? Now, if that friend at that point continues to gaslight her, make her feel like, her feelings aren't valid, or like she's bugging out or she's tripping, then she has to make the decision. Okay, well, obviously maybe we weren't as close as I thought we were.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to pull back from the situation entirely.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree with you completely. At this point, it's more about her relationship with her friend
Mm-hmm.
than this other dude, because it sounds like she wants her friend to be on her side. That
Mm-hmm.
sounds like an expectation that
Mm-hmm.
she has. I don't know what happened between she and the dude. They're not together. She's not talking to him, but she's disappointed with how her friend is responding. Now she needs to have a conversation with the friend. And maybe this is exposing the limitations of the friend and what she's like, because she sounds like she may be more loyal to old dude, old crazy boy.
Might be. Even if he's
Mm-hmm.
wrong, it sounds like, he might be wrong, but I value his friendship more than I value your friendship. So that's what it
Absolutely.
is.
So what would you say
Absolutely.
to her, Dr. Aisha?
To the woman who wrote the letter.
Yes.
Oh, that you probably have other friends. And I know that I have my three really close friends, and then I have another three who were somewhat close, but not as close as those three, and then a bunch of associates.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who's not those top three, if
Yep.
I'm wrong, they're going to tell me I'm wrong. But they're not going to say, okay, you're a little wrong here, and he's a little wrong there. And no, wrong. I agree with what the woman said in the letter, that wrong is wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
if it makes you, every time you talk to your friend, you want to slap the shit out of her,
That's a
stop
sign.
talking to her.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be face to face with her at some point. She's gonna say the wrong thing, or who knows? Y'all might have had a couple of drinks and you actually slapped the shit out of her.
Yeah.
So not just
Absolutely.
protecting your peace, protecting yourself from an assault charge when she makes you slap
Absolutely.
her.
Absolutely.
She gonna make you slap her. So protect
maybe
yourself from that.
maybe you two aren't as close friends as you thought.
Mm-hmm.
If she isn't listening to you, and it sounds like mm, something weird happened, just to use that term,
Yeah.
and then it sounds like she doesn't believe you, or maybe she's minimizing it.
Mhm.
Like I said, that's a sign to you that what you can expect from her, and it's letting you know, oh, we're not that cool.
Yeah.
As Aisha just talked about, that inner solar system is like what I like to call it. Those people who you trust and they trust you. Only a few people belong in that inner solar system. And perhaps you need to put her in a different lane where she belongs. But don't let her, make you question you.
Mhm.
Well, another thing is my friends who I really love, I would never question whether or not I want to be friends with them
Yeah.
anymore. I would
Yep.
absolutely, tell them I really want us to be friends, and here is what I want. And if you can't do that, maybe we could take a break from each other, but I still love you. But I mean, it sounds like she's like, should I be her friend? Should I block them both? If I have to question whether or not I should block
That's a
you, I'm just gonna
sign.
block you. Block first and think about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she asks, "Hey, what's up? You blocked me," and I'm like, "All
Right.
right, well, here's what happened."
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
So and then you got to think of this as sound. So it's all about friendships now. The dude is gone, and like you said, if your friend isn't going to believe you and be on your side, there's a issue already there. Like you just talked about, Aisha, those very close people. I know people, and so friends, and they say something, I'm on their side. Now, sometimes it sounds a little weird, but after I listen to them and talk about them, I'm on their side. Like brother, I'm with you. But let's talk about
Right.
what your role was. I'm still with you, bro.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if her friend is able to do that. And if your friend isn't able to do that, then we got to figure out what lane we're going to put her in.
Well, because here's
Absolutely.
another big problem with straddling the fence. If I have decided that I'm going to just equally take both of y'all sides, and I'm going to be friends with both of you, at some point something's going to happen where I want to invite both of you, whether that's a wedding, a baby shower, a party, or whatever it is. And then it sounds like this friend wouldn't choose sides. She would say, like, well, y'all are, I don't have anything to do with what happened with y'all. I'm just going to invite everybody. And now issue's really going to go down. if something happened that was so egregious, you're still going to be willing to put us in the same room with each other, or the opposite, you're going to choose which one of us can come, and
Yeah.
that could be equally hurtful. And I'm all about, being you to the hurt. I hurt you before you hurt me.
And that's why I think it's so important for her to. I'm curious as to why she hasn't told the friend exactly what's happened. Right. I think that's so important to give that friend that context, right? So she can make a more informed decision.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If you're just beating around the bush, like, girl, he just ain't trust me, he ain't a good person. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what does that look like?
Did he slap you?
Did he slap you? Did he
stalk you?
Did he stalk? What happened? Right. So that gives that friend more information to base her decision off of, right? If she says, hey, this is exactly what happened, right? Now, if that friend at that point, if you've said, hey, this is what happened, and if that mutual friend continues to invalidate you and your experiences, or continues to straddle that fence, then that gives you cause to say, all right, listen, I've told you what's happened, right? I'm supposed to be your girl, and I've told you exactly what happened. And if you continue to bring this person, I'm not saying that you necessarily got to stop being friends with this person, but at least stop bring it up in my presence, right? Not, especially if I've told you this, right? At least don't invite me into a situation where both of us got to be there,
right?
At least respect me enough to not put me in those types of situations to where I'm feeling uncomfortable, right? But I think it starts again with that conversation of, okay, if you're truly my friend, I trust you knowing exactly what happened.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give a hypothetical, because I've had a client in a similar situation with a friend, not concerning relationships, but what one friend thought was bad and other friends didn't think were bad. So let's say hypothetically, this woman was out with said man, and they had both been drinking, and she was kind of drunk, and they got in an argument. And he left her, but he didn't just leave her. He at least called an Uber for her to get home.
That's not funny. It's not funny.
That's not.
Well, because I'm saying she could tell her friend, well, we were drunk and we got in an argument and he left me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she might be like, well, he did call an Uber for you to get home.
Yeah.
So now I'm riding drunk with another strange man, I don't know, to my house. He didn't make sure I got home safely. He just found out I went home.
Yeah. But what's the expectation of the friend?
Because now my thing is, now you and your friend possibly have different values and morals, in which case y'all might not be as great of friends as you think. You all don't have that much in common either.
Yeah,
I agree. So the ultimate question here, what are some of the signs to let you know that friendship has changed or evolved, and that person, just like any other intimate, romantic relationship, that friendship may not be as beneficial to you as you thought it was? Any thoughts about that? Because that's a clear sign.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think if in any relationship, the other person is invalidating your feelings, your experiences, that's a telltale sign.
Yeah.
Right. And any relationship that you're in, whether it's intimate, whether it's work, whether it's friendship, whatever the relationship is, if you're constantly feeling invalidated, you're constantly feeling being gaslit, right? Those are some telltale signs that the relationship isn't as solid as you think it is. Right. When I think about my relationships, right, I'm not always looking for my friends to tell me I'm right. Right. I'm not always looking for that. I want you to hear me, right? And then if I'm wrong, let me know. Hey, like I hear you, but you're wrong, right? They can be truthful, but also empathetic.
Yeah.
Right. If they can't do those things for me, then that's where I don't typically like call them my friends, or even associates for that matter.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Dr. Aisha, your final word on the topic?
Don't be afraid of your friend.
Don't let her. No, I'm kidding.
Don't let her punk you. You can tell her what happened. And if she didn't like it, move on. Y'all don't have to be friends anymore. That is okay.
So
I mean,
I
unless that really is like your only friend, in which case we have some other issues we need to work on.
well, you can find more friends, you
Right.
know, and as it was mentioned earlier, that's a telltale sign. You know, she's letting you know how reliable she will be in the future. You
Mm,
know, if you go to her for something else that may not have anything to do with this dude or any other dude, she's letting you know her limitations.
Yeah,
Now, you need to read that and make a decision about that and what
exactly.
lane you're going to put her in your world so that you're not disappointed again. You know, you may be low on funds, something happened on the job, you know, something like that. And then you
Yeah.
call her expecting her to help, and she's neutral.
well,
Yeah.
with any relationship, for me, friendship or romantic, if I get to the point where I feel like I want to physically assault you, I'm going to break up
I got to pull
before
back.
before that happens.
I got to
Yep.
pull back. I got to
Yep.
pull back. I got
If
to
they
distance
pull
myself.
that side out of you, then
Yeah.
it's time. Ain't nothing wrong with saying goodbye.
Yeah. I got to
All
pull
right.
back at that point.
So, anything else from our guest today?
I don't think so. I think that at the end of the day, for me, it's all about when it comes to relationships, what are our intentions, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's again that from the first question is, are my intentions pure? Have I communicated my intentions? All right. To the second question is, have I communicated to this friend the depths of what's happened? Right. And like Dr. Dickerson say, hey, if that friend, if you've communicated that and that friend still isn't rocking with you or showing that she still doesn't like support you, then you have to protect your peace. And then that may just mean, hey, moving that friend to Dr. Dave's point, moving that friend to a different level, to a
Hmm.
different tier. They may not be in your top tier of friends.
Yep.
Maybe they on the outside. All right. So maybe you got to move them. I think we all have that within friendship. Like we got our
Yeah.
close ones
Yep.
and we got some that's on different levels, right? And maybe this person is not in that first tier that you thought they were. Maybe just move them to a different tier, create some space, or shit, you just remove them completely.
Ain't nothing wrong
It's
with
a
that.
slow fade.
Yeah.
Just fade on out.
So, Avery, tell the audience how can they contact you if they want to continue this conversation with you?
Yeah, you can reach me. I'm on, I feel like every social media platform. On LinkedIn, I'm Avery Rosser. I just really got into the LinkedIn space and I see that it's great.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And on Instagram, you can find me at counselor, the number 4 in life. No space or nothing special characters, anything like that. So counselor for life. You can also email me at weclimbcc.com.
Gotcha. And I must ask, on the shirt, I see a logo that is familiar to me. Would that happen to be the Counseling Brothers of ATL?
It exactly is.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that's about?
Yeah, so I am the current president and CEO of the Counseling Brothers of Atlanta. We are a nonprofit 501c3. Had to get that plug. So we need donation to continue to do what we do for the
Okay.
community. So if you'd
Okay.
like to donate, please do so. You can donate. You can go to our website, which is the CBOA, the THECBOA.org. Click the donate button. But we are a nonprofit organization. We are a collective of Black male therapists that own and operate our own practice. But together we form the Counseling Brothers of Atlanta. And so what we do is we focus on 3 different platforms and in efforts to kind of eradicate and destigmatize and decolonize the field of mental health. So one of the platforms that we offer is our directory. And so we offer the community access to us, right? Oftentimes people say that it's very difficult to find a Black male therapist.
Hmm.
We make
Yes.
it very simple for you. We are in one place at THECBOA.org. There's a directory of 30 Black male therapists in Atlanta.
Hallelujah.
right? And we're growing. We are continuously growing. We're here. So we make it easily accessible for you to find a Black male therapist. The other component that we work on is our mentorship. We want to increase the number of Black males that are in this field, right? There are a lot of articles and a lot of research that talk about the field of mental health. There's 2% of Black male psychologists, where there aren't any studies that talks about the number of Black male therapists, right? Just counselors, right? So for us, our role is we want to increase the number. So we offer mentorship. If you're in a master's level program, if you're identify as a Black male and you're in a master's level program, we offer mentorship, practicum placement, internship placement, job placement. We support you through your licensing process. We offer continuing education, all of those things. And lastly, our community outreach, where we bring the therapy to the community, and we do a lot of different things. We've done things where we've done a integration of mental health and physical health. We know a lot of men like to work out. Well, we're going to stress the importance of how those things are interconnected. We've collaborated with organizations. We've done journaling in the park. We have our mental health man cave that'll be coming up here soon. Once we kind of lock the date in, I'll be sure to send it out to you guys so you can kind of promote that. And one of our biggest initiatives that we are getting off the ground is our very own conference led by Black male therapists.
Okay.
So we are in the final phases of that. We're just waiting on the final okay. And then we're going to be hosting our very own summit or workshop that is completely led by Black male clinicians. So you get a different perspective on the mental health space from Black men that are in the space.
Well, I am glad I asked about that. That wasn't, I wasn't prepared for that at all.
I know a little bit, but I didn't know that much that y'all were doing all of that. That's exciting.
I'm actually part of the group chat that you guys have on GroupMe.
Yeah. I was looking at you now. I was like, "Wait, you're in there?"
Yeah. So, but I want to talk to you when we get off air about how I can get more involved, because I love that. I think that is great. That is wonderful, and I am so glad I recognized that logo on your shirt and asked about it. So, thank you guys for watching. Today we've been talking about relationships, whether romantic or friendships, out here with Avery Rosser, who gave us some wonderful tips and advice on it. You guys have been watching Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
We will see you guys next week, Monday at 7:00 p.m. on the Our Black Media Network. See you then.
I like that.